Good evening and welcome to the Midnight Bible Study. Tonight's topic is the Great Tribulation. What did the early church fathers say about the Great Tribulation? So I've been looking into this pretty diligently the last few days, and I'm going to stick to a minimum of comments here because I'll talk more about it later. But I will let the church fathers speak for themselves. Keep in mind, though, as I do this, that the early church fathers were Catholics. That's what there was up until the Reformation. That's the church that Jesus started. And so what they said is probably not going to go along with the current day pop culture version of the Great Tribulation that you might find in something like Left Behind. So this is different. This came well back in the first, second, and third centuries is when these early church fathers lived. So let's find out what they had to say about the Great Tribulation. Now, Hermas was an early church writer, and Hermas was from the 2nd century, and he said, "Happy are those who endure the great tribulation that is coming." Now that's biblical. We can look at James 1:12. It says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him." So we don't want to face any tribulations. Who does? I don't want to face tribulations. But then again, James does say, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life." Well, I think most people like that idea, receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. So there is benefit for standing fast through tribulation. And so again, Hermas. By the way, what does the Bible say? I mean, let's just go to the word itself. In Matthew 24:21, "Then there will be great tribulation." Matthew 24:21, "such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, nor will ever be." So it's going to be bad. Revelation 7:14, "These are the ones who come out of the great tribulation and washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb." Did you catch that? This is from Revelation. These are the ones who came out of the great tribulation. They came out of the great tribulation, meaning they weren't delivered from it. They didn't skip it. They came out of the great tribulation and washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Okay, now that we saw about what Hermas said, "Happy are those who endure the great tribulation that is coming, and happy are they who will not deny their own life." Okay, let's see, what about Irenaeus? Now, Irenaeus was bishop of the church at Lyons, France, in the 2nd century. What did Irenaeus say? He said, "There will be tribulation such as not been since the beginning," which we just heard straight from the Bible. "Neither will be. For since there is the last contest of the righteous, in which they are crowned." The contest of the righteous. Now think about that. There can't be a contest of the righteous unless the righteous are actually there participating in the contest. It's like you can't have the Olympics if the athletes aren't there. They're missing. No, they're going to be there because according to Irenaeus, he says for this is the last contest of the righteous. So the righteous are going to be there during this great tribulation, this contest, in which they are crowned with incorruption when they overcome. So it's very important that this is an opportunity to be crowned, which we also just saw comes right from Scripture. So these early church fathers were not making stuff up. These are just essentially paraphrases of Scripture put in their own words. What about Hippolytus? According to Hippolytus, a leading priest in the Church of Rome, one of the most important theologians of the 2nd and 3rd centuries. According to Hippolytus, when the times are fulfilled and the 10 horns spring from the beast in the last days, then the Antichrist will appear among them when he makes war against the saints. Okay, now again, think about that. Okay, the Antichrist appears, and then when he makes war against the saints, well, again, he can't make war against the saints if they're already gone. So what he's saying is that the saints are going to be there for the tribulation. Now, obviously, this is a view that many people don't like the idea of it, especially if they think it's coming soon, and that's totally understandable. But that's not what Hippolytus says. He says, when the times are fulfilled and the 10 horns spring from the beast in the last days, then the Antichrist will appear among them. When he makes war against the saints and persecutes them, then we can expect the manifestation of the Lord from heaven. So there's daylight at the end of the tunnel. All right, what about Commodius? Now, Commodius, or also known as Commodian, was a Christian Latin poet. And here's what he says. Those persons will also come who overcame the cruel martyrdom under the Antichrist. Those persons will also come who overcame the cruel martyrdom under the Antichrist. So again, according to Commodianus, sorry about the pronunciation there, Commodianus, those persons will also overcame the cruel martyrdom. So again, go back to the James 1:2. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life which God has promised to those who love him. Commodianus, those persons who will also overcome, who overcame the cruel martyrdom under the Antichrist. So they're gonna overcome the cruel Antichrist. They're gonna overcome. That's the good news. And they themselves live for the whole time and receive blessings because they have suffered evil things. So there is we're gonna suffer evil things, but it's because of that, according to Commodianus, that we're going to receive blessings because we have suffered evil things. So, the saints are going to face persecution, but because of that, they're going to receive blessings. So that's what the early church fathers had to say about the Great Tribulation. And I'll talk more about this in the future, in the near future. God bless you, and thanks for visiting us here at the Midnight Bible Study. Good night.